Hello. We are live, and it's time to reveal the truth. This has all been a fiendish plot of mine, the Puppet Master. You thought that I could just warm your hearts as Puppeting, but no, it's me. Yes, don't go shaking your head. Don't go shaking your head. This is the truth. Okay, no, it's not really. These eyebrows really make me look angry, don't they?
That's what happens when you don't feed you, right? You get angry.
Exactly. Exactly. Gail, honey. Thank you. Well, now I can't see anything, though.
Whoa!
Okay, can you help me out? Yeah. No? She's refusing to help me out, and so you have to see my ugly face without the glasses. I think they help me look better. Hello, everybody. My name is Puppeting. We are here to talk to you today about the first season of The Fantastic Four. Venkman, I'm never going to forgive you. We should just start out with saying that. Because you know what I can't get out of my head?
Not sure. Should I spell it out for you?
Yes, go ahead.
Or maybe I should just read it off for you. Reed Richards is elastic. Sue can fade for sight. Johnny is a human torch, and Ben just likes to fight. Here comes the fall.
Wow, you messed up the line even. You're just making this worse. No. This is how much I know this song. Because this theme song has ruined my life. Gail can't even look at me. She makes me sleep on the couch. And you know what our couch is? Actually just a sofa chair. Can you imagine my entire body just fitting in a sofa chair? It hurts, man. If I had a real back, it'd be broken right now. This show was awful. It was so cringy the entire way through. It's almost unbearable.
Unbearable.
I wish there was an episode with a bear, just so that you would have to deal with that pun.
I don't know.
Let's go into details. You selected the show. Tell me why.
Why I selected? Well, it's a classic as far as for Fantastic Four. As far as I know, the only one before this was the one that came out in the 1960s, which you probably would have hated that more because of the fact that it's just basically like claymations. Not even claymation. It's like the art cells, they don't really move. It's just like, here he swings like this. It's like a cardboard cutout swings. Mm-hmm. They're not. It's not really that good as far as
South Park level of animation.
South Park is better, more advanced.
Not the original stuff, man.
But, like I said, I enjoyed it as a kid. I watched this when I was 9 years old, 1994. Mm-hmm. Didn't really watch it religiously. It was on Sunday. It was on Sunday mornings for me. Before church, I would this would be on, and I'd watch the Marvel Power Hour. You'd have Iron Man and the Hulk. So Sunday mornings in the early 90s, watching this, it's like, dude, this is awesome. I loved it. Now as I get older now, I'm older now. It's been 26 years. I go back and watch those first 2 episodes with Dick Clark. In case you don't know who that is, Puppeteen. He used to host, the Dick Clark, the band.
I'm older than you. I'm Puppeteen. I've been around this. I was around before you were a twinkle in your mom's eye.
You just butchered that too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I did. It's your father's eye.
You popped up.
Of course, they're one and the same now. Anyway, we have LK in the audience. Hello. It was part of the Marvel Action Hour with the Iron Man cartoon.
Yeah, it was the third man out because they also had Iron Man and the Hulk on the same day. Yeah. But they didn't have a fourth one.
this was hard to sit through, man. Can you imagine my face just sitting there and watching, and the entire time I just felt more and more. Oh gosh, what has Venkman done? I cursed your name a couple times. I hope you're okay.
Well, I just gotta realize that's probably why I just started laughing for no reason then.
Okay.
But
so
because
you would watch the show and then you would go to church to cleanse you of the sin. Is that it?
honestly,
Man.
it wasn't that bad when I watched it when I was younger. Obviously, because I watched it through a filter. And I'm not really watching it, all the way through. I'd watch episodes here and there. It wasn't something I'd watch 1 through whatever episodes, whatever's on TV. I had a VCR, and I can already record one thing at a time, one channel at a time. So it's either this or I record another channel. So yeah. So like I said, it was a show that I kind of wanted to watch again because it's Fantastic Four, and dude, who doesn't like the Thing? I mean, the Thing was actually pretty good in this series. I liked it. Even Johnny towards. I agree. This series started off rough. Reed Richards was kind of a dick.
His elastic.
Don't use that when I say dick.
Elastic. That's what he was.
I know, but I said he was kind of a dick, and you said elastic right after that. I was like, I don't want to put that in the same sentence. But anyway, no.
About that, did you?
Yeah, so he was kind of a jerk, and what were they fighting? Oh, Namor. The second episode against Namor was, oh my gosh, that was bad. And I'm biased against Namor as it is because I hate those little wings he has on his ankles. That allows him to fly. I'm like, Wonder Woman can fly. She doesn't have wings. It's like you tell me he can't just jump out like a flying fish, fly for a while, and go back in the water. But
what happens when he goes in the water? His ankles. Oh no, my wings are wet. How the hell am I supposed to get up now? Oh nope, doesn't matter. Okay, says not only Dick Clark, but Gary Owens too. Yeah, no, this series, it was something.
But the Namor episode though was hilarious though because Earth is being invaded by the Atlantean forces. Namor because Namor had kidnapped Sue. They're kind of keeping it close to what the comic books are supposed to be. Like I said, I never read the Stan Lee stuff, but
the original back in the day stuff.
Yeah, so basically, what was her? It wasn't named Marita. I forget what the other girls it was.
Alicia.
No, Lady Dorma. That's what it was, I believe. Yes, Lady Dorma.
Maranya. Yeah, Maranya's in the audience. I want to say hello. She said Elastic is Mr. Fantastic. Oh, we know. We moved on from talking about Johnny because he has a special part coming up here soon that we're going to definitely talk about, and you'll be horrified. But
no.
But yeah, we were talking about Mr. Fantastic. He was kind of a jerk to his wife. That was the whole thing. So Sue was walking down on the beach. Oh, my husband doesn't pay any attention to me. And then she gets kidnapped by a half-naked guy with wings on his feet.
Well, I wasn't saying about that. That's a given in the comments. I'm saying before that, he was actually kind of a dick before all this. The way he snapped on Johnny and Ben, it's just like it was just weird. Anyway, so Atlantis invaded the Earth. So how they defeat them? They're like, and then it just seemed like Reed Richards wasn't that bright in this episode. He's like, and they kind of dumped. Obviously they dumped it down for kids for this,
Yep.
Y7 or probably. And he says and he starts talking in his scientific. Let's just think throughout this whole series that Ben has no idea whatever Reed says. Reed just goes straight into basically like nerd mode, and Ben says like English, please. Every freaking episode, It never fails. But
it gets to the point where there's the episode with Doctor Doom, and they're captured, and to outsmart the robots, Reed Richards uses Pig Latin, and the Thing's just like, I can't understand what you're saying now. And then he says something scientific, and he's like, I understood the Big Latin better. Poor Ben. Poor Ben.
Yeah, like I said, like the way. Let me get back to my point again. The way they defeated the Atlanteans is basically creating a giant heat lamp and heat rays to basically because they all had helmets on with the water because that's all they could breathe on land because they had like little helmets with water in them. And he basically he boiled the helmets so that the water just evaporated inside the helmets, and they all just quick ran into the sea, except for the general. They were to catch him, and like Johnny just picks him up, kicks him to prison. I'm thinking like, this is the first time they've dealt with Atlanteans. I'm thinking like, what's a prison gonna do? Like like Rikers. Oh,
just drop him in the pool.
right?
That'll do it.
Right. But and then like Lady Dorma, it was real confusing. Lady Dorma set this whole thing up. She seduced the general who knew he liked him to basically try and upstart Namor and or maybe getting good graces with him. It was really weird, but yeah, she set this whole entire invasion in the works, and then at the last minute jumps in front of Namor. So when her pretend lover, the general, shoots an arrow and it hits her and Sarah, she gets shot, and then she dies. I was like, wait, you're the villain and you're playing the victim and you die? It was just really weird because
on the victim.
Yeah, but obviously though, it was really, Reed just busts out. It's like he went from being stupid before to instantly smart. I got this device that can resuscitate her, and it does, and she comes back to life. And then like he takes Lady Dorma and he goes back to like Atlantis. It's like and we don't see Namor like for like the rest of the season.
Nope.
As I recall,
he's just gone. And any obsession he had for Sue, okay, I'll just let this pass by. Yeah, that episode was hard to sit through. Oh, why did you do this to me? Why did you do this to me?
I didn't put you on live stream. You did yourself.
All right. I feel like let's check some comments. Maranya says that Doctor Doom armor is janky. Yeah, it is. If you look at Doctor Doom in this season, it is atrocious. His entire costume is ridiculous. He has like 2 buck teeth up top and on the bottom, and there's actually one episode, the final episode of the season, and I can say for his 3-part thing in the middle of the season, his mouth doesn't move too much. No, it does move too much, but not like he's actually talking through it. In that final episode, they're acting like, oh, this is really his mouth. It was so ridiculous. Can we move on to the Doctor Doom episodes? Do you think
I want to go back to the comments you skipped over, Pumpa Team. You should get your glasses checked. Maybe get some lenses in those. LK said he only asked about the technique used to show them when they're under the sea. It almost made nauseous. If you're referring to as far as like the wavy lines or just the coloration of the art, it was all right. Like I said, some of the art here, like you'd see, like as far as animation, I think it suffered just as much as if you watch the early Spider-Man cartoon in the 90s too. You see spots, or stills of basically Peter Parker when he looks kind of weird. He's got the really tiny bitty eyes, and then all of a sudden it goes back to normal when they actually do a close up. I agree. The Doctor Doom armor was kind of weird. But before we get to Doctor Doom, though, I feel like I gotta say Doctor Doom for last because he's like the best part of his story, I believe. I want to go to the introduction of Mr. Silver Surfer.
All right. Cowabunga dudes, because this guy, he's surfing those galactic waves down to your planet so that Galactus can eat it.
I literally every time I hear what episode it was, whenever they showed him, it's like he's surfing and they're playing surfing music. And like you might as well play Beach Boys or Wipeouts, It's like Surfing USA. They're literally that's basically what it was in the background. I was like, really, this must be really aimed for kids because, like I said, watching it as an adult, I didn't really notice it the first time around. Because there's a lot of stuff I did not notice. Because I said I did not watch this all the way through when I was a kid. I'd catch it here or there. Now go sit down and actually paying attention. It's like, wow, my 9-year-old son. Like, it's a good thing I skipped all these when I was a kid.
Well, whenever he was coming down, I got some bad vibrations. Well, actually, there is one element that I do like. The Watcher, he actually had that classic kind of Watcher look, which is perfect. I did enjoy that. That's the one thing about this whole thing. The Watcher didn't feel like a dunce. So,
No, the Watcher, it was kind of weird though. The depth perception in some of the scenes, because when they first meet him, he materializes, and he's just sitting right there, and he almost looks like he's the same height as them until they get up to him. And he's like, and he's huge. I was like, okay, I must be looking through some beer goggles because he looked like my height, just like you look like you're my height.
Yeah, it's all a matter of perspective, which these animators do not know how to draw. The animation in this show is horrible sometimes. Just this season, I need to start addressing that. This is a season 1 review because I actually, after watching an episode of season 2, sat back, okay, and it was solid. It was good. So, I enjoyed it. It wasn't anything like this atrocity that we are speaking about.
The comedy in this show was still funny though. It kind of made up for some of the bad stuff.
Are we going to talk about their obsession with Roseanne Barr?
Well, to go to that, we should talk about the Skrulls. The Skrull invasion here too was kind of cool. As I thought they were done pretty well. Man,
well, I missed the first part because I rewatched the series on Disney Plus, and they actually don't have the episode with Bill Clinton.
They don't.
Nope.
It's censored out.
Even though Jim Cummings is playing Bill Clinton, and I wanted to see that.
Oh yes.
I didn't get to see it.
Yes, yeah, because basically starts off when the Fantastic Four or the president contacts him on their monitor, and he's like, and they talk to him, and like Johnny and Ben are fighting, and they're basically hitting each other, and because before this they're fighting over some video game they found, and like Ben was being an immature kid, and usually it's just Johnny is the one that's being the kid, and he's kind of like the hothead. Where all of a sudden Ben's like, no, I want to play the game. He's like, Johnny's like, I'm the one that found it. And he's like, yeah, you probably took it from some poor kid. It's like, so they're fighting over this game, and the whole thing. And then they're called in there. They're still fighting, and I was like, wow, they're really making them this like becoming like just kids. And I said, in the comics, I don't know if they were that immature. I know they probably played pranks on each other, but I thought that was more towards like the modern, like the 2000s and the 90s kind of versions. I don't know if Kirby's version was like that. I mean, if Mr. Breen had joined us on the live stream, we would know all this. But maybe you could tell us from the chat.
To be fair, we didn't send him a link. If he would like to join, absolutely be fine with sending him one. Oh. Yeah, no, I agree because it comes up a couple times how Johnny and Ben interact with each other. And that'll actually lead into the Doom episode, which I will have patience on. We will give it its due time.
But the Skrulls, yes, they pretend to be the Fantastic Four doing stuff. And meanwhile, they're basically on a wild goose chase. They found this underwater hologram device, which I don't know how it works in the ocean like that. Without let's go short circuiting alien technology, it's highly more advanced than we are. So and it's like they, I don't know. It's like the Skrulls are kind of funny too. They waited to use the base to defeat them is by pretending to be after basically defeating and tying up the goons. Reed pretends to be the Skrull leader. He gets the
Mhm.
coordinates and he basically goes back, takes a ship, goes, finds the Skrull ship, and just pretends to be them. And then says like shows him a clip of this basically monster movie. So he's like, yeah, they're much stronger than we thought they were. It shows like Frankenstein, shows like the dinosaurs attacking stuff. It's like and the Supreme Leader is like, yeah, we probably shouldn't do this, and like here for his bravery, he's like, well, just keep giving him medals. He got like 16 freaking medals. So I was like, come on, how many medals? Keep putting over his head. And Lyra's like, it's like you're my Skrull kind of Skrull. There's like that. It was like you could tell that she like had the hots for it. I was like, oh, okay. It's like it was just weird. But what was kind of cool though, they kind of kept, as far as I think it's correctly with the comics, is that the other three Skrulls, when they came back, they saw that the Fantastic Four there. They tried to run away and turn into goats, but then he used his hypnotic device on it and made them believe that they want to be goats. So now they're like stuck as goats. If I remember correctly, that was from the Kree Skrull War comic book, but they were cows ago.
Well, they will make somebody a fine meal eventually.
I thought I still thought that was kind of dark though. He turned like these sentient beings into like, hey, we're just gonna be goats now. Like that's kind of dark.
If you want to keep going on the Skrulls, the next part I actually did get to see, was Super Skrull. He's here. He's there. He's everywhere.
He clobbers.
It actually starts out with showing the Skrulls as they're watching a movie. A trailer for a movie, and they're like, "Oh, dang it! Those Fantastic Four tricked me." And so the Skrull leader is talking in Skrull. Well, and then Stan Lee pops up. I do enjoy how many times Stan Lee pops up in the show. It helps add to the fun of it. And so he's like, "Oh well, for people who can't speak Skrull, let me just put on the translator." Okay, now everybody can hear.
They'll start over again, like rewind it back. Yeah, hearing Stan's voice, because I remember watching that as again. Yeah, I remember Stan would do introductions as even before the show would start. He'd do introductions, like he'd do like the moral of the story, get a lesson like that. It was kind of sad hearing his voice because I know he's no longer with us, but it's still kind of cool. It's like I forget that he does the introduction for a lot of this stuff. So it's kind of cool to have that. I don't know if Stan had if they had any kids or not. But I mean that's one thing cool. Your dad's immortalized and listen like this, but
touching.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, the Super Skrull. It's basically he has all the powers of the Fantastic Four. And they set him down. And he challenges them. We need to defeat some. And then he's like, you have 24 hours to surrender, and as they're waiting,
the world gives up.
The world basically gives up. They try to fight him, and Ben's just kind of like, I'm just sick of watching TV, watching when people just getting wiped out, King. And the whole plan of the Super Skrull is like, we're gonna take all their soldiers and turn them into our slaves, bring them back to our home planet. It's like, okay, I guess that's what you want. You want to have all these soldiers and stuff, but I was like, I thought you were the supreme race. Why would you want to have humans as slaves? I don't understand. I thought they
want themselves as slaves.
No, but Super Skrull, yeah. You want to go comments? Yeah, as far as LK is saying that Super Skrull is badass, and he was a formidable pull in this. And it took him a while. It took Reed and them a while to figure out why Super Skrull was so much stronger. He had powers, because there was when they stole the Skrull ship, there was that Korean lung going, iron lung going whoosh, whoosh. And it's got the electric currents out. They were pumping energy from Skrull home planets into the Super Skrull. So he had Reed's like, that's it. He's supercharged. We have to disrupt the flow. So he's like, here, I'll use this sound barrier thing, as far as frequency stuff.
They actually throw it. They throw the little invention that he has.
It's a hubcap.
Reed, exactly. Sue throws it like a frisbee over to Reed, and Reed catches it. I think she actually says, just like at the beach, and they just boom, pop it on the head.
It was funny though because they put it on there, and like instead of putting normal like a ball, a lid on top. No, he goes like this, and it slides in like a disc into the brain, goes all the way straight down. I was like, okay, that was
Just
a
kill
part.
them.
I was like, and they're like, oh no, we got quick move, this is only gonna be days for a couple minutes. They're like, quick, Johnny, let's throw him inside this volcano, and then Johnny, use your flame to heat the crust, in this
Make molten rock
above him, so he won't be able to get out. I'm like, so you're gonna throw him into lava, kill him?
Well, no, he can withstand the heat. No, he didn't have his powers at that moment, did he?
No.
Because he was weakened. So they just killed him, and just for good measure, decided, hey, let's lock this volcano up. That's the kind of show we're dealing with.
Well, the other show, the other thing is we're getting. Guess who played the voice acting for Johnny Storm in this? Brian Austin Green, fresh off of 90210. Megan Fox's ex-husband.
Johnny Storm.
But the other voice actor I liked it too for Mr. Fantastic is Butte Weaver. If you remember the 80s Superman cartoon, he played Clark Kent, Superman. So when you hear his voice as Reed Richards, I'm like, at first I'm like, I didn't click with me, and then I was like, I pictured Reed Richards streaming Kryptonite. Yeah, then I knew right away it was him. The voice acting is pretty good in this, though.
I mean,
except for Doom. Doom has a German accent. Yeah.
Oh, are we going to finally get to Doom? I feel like we have to wait a little bit more to talk about the mastery that is Doom, because we have to get to Galactus first, because the story's a little bit intertwined. So where were we with Silver Surfer? Yeah, actually, I think LK said earlier he forgot how ripped the Silver Surfer was, and he's absolutely right. He's like, boom.
He came off as a creep though. When he went by Alicia playing the piano, he hears he comes back and he's like, oh, what's this sweet music? I've never heard this sound before. And he goes down, and then she's got what's this she's got a clay a statue she's making a band of a thing,
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, it's like, and you can do this and everything, and
you're a musician as well as an artist,
even if you're blind. And he puts his hands on her face, like he holds like this, like he's touching. I was like, dude, boundaries. I was like, if the Thing would have walked in, he would have got hit with his board again.
No, I don't think so. Because if you just watch how Reed acts, whenever Sue gets captured by a Seaman, they'll just shrug it off. No, these men aren't too concerned.
No. The thing is, it's funny though, is that Silver Surfer has got those cosmic powers, and here comes the Thing, just grabs the Silver Surfer's board and just whacks him with that baseball. Yeah. And you don't see him. He's gone for a while, and Galactus shows up. This is before the Watcher appears, and it was just kind of corny because there comes Galactus. I'm thinking like, okay, Galactus is gonna be a big dude. Nah, he's small. He can walk on the planet normal.
Perspective. It's ridiculous sometimes, because sometimes they make him look like he's huge, like he should be, and then sometimes they just make him look like itty bitty. It's ridiculous.
He's probably 50 feet tall, or maybe less than that. Maybe 20 feet tall, 30 feet tall.
Doesn't matter. He's supposed to be gigantic.
I went up bigger than a planet, right? He just puts a straw and just sucks it. But no, it was kind of weird because the device he has, these two tentacles come out, going to each building. He's supposed to drawing the energy from.
Yep. I'm still talking.
Okay. I just saw you hop away. That's why I was concerned for you.
I'm back. All right. No, you're absolutely right. I believe this was a two-parter, right?
Yes. Coming Galactus was a two-parter, yeah. Which is based off the Fantastic Four 48 and 49, and then through 50.
Ignore that.
Too late. All right.
All right. Pushing on.
Yes. It was kind of a letdown, the whole Galactus thing. Because Silver Surfer basically came in and he's like, "Sir, I played you to spare this. You know, they're basically like intelligent, highly advanced stuff. You know, to kill them." And like Galactus is like, "Dude, you're my herald. Shut the heck up. I'm doing what I want."
Exactly.
It was kind of. I was like, "Okay, they just did that for whatever reason." And then because he does this. Stupid Silver Surfer ends up getting basically like exiled from Galactus. He's like,
well, the exile actually happens after the Watcher takes Johnny and is like, hey, you're going to go into Galactus's sphere. Don't touch anything except this one thing that you're going to bring down. And after Johnny returns with it, Mr. Fantastic takes it. Do you remember what it's called?
The Ultra Nullifier.
The Ultra Nullifier, absolutely.
And do you like what happened after basically threatens like and Galactus is like, he's like, first of all, you didn't ask him how you get it, but he's like, you fool. He basically said, Reed, he's like, you fool. If you basically use this, you're gonna just de-animize all of us. And he's like, and so then he's like, don't make me pull this trigger after you fire 2 rays at him.
I know.
I was like,
just a warning shot.
Reed's on an 8-second delay.
Exactly. So Galactus says, okay, I've wasted my time here. Just give it to me and I'll go home. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. That's basically what happened. And he just for that, he's like, hey, Silver Surfer, boom, you stay here. Enjoy the solar system.
It was so dumb though, as like, because they're like, and Johnny's like, you should hang on, Reed. You should hang on to Ultramar. Don't give it back to him. You know, what if it's a trick? And Ben's like, shoot him. Ben's just all about violence. His character in the thing is just not the whole entire series. He just wants to destroy things. He's such a hot. And one of the reasons I really don't like him to begin with was the first 2 episodes with they're on the Dick Clark show and they're basically telling the origins. They're doing
hey, just buy more books,
or I'll beat you. It's like, if you don't, you better hear these phones start ringing now. And he was just
everybody.
It just felt so out of character for him. And not once do we hear a Sweet Petunia in this whole entire season with him.
Sweet Petunia, no, but we do get to hear it's clobbering time.
Multiple times.
The thing, he just loves to fight.
Yes.
Okay, moving on, because we now have the Silver Surfer banished. Should we talk about the Mole Man, or should we move on to Doom?
Well, the Mole Man's after Doom. We go to Doom.
We go to Doom. Wow.
So once again, it starts off with Johnny and Ben fighting over the remote. Ben's watching this old Frankenstein movie, and Johnny jumps in. He grabs the remote and turns on this rock. It must be MTV is probably watching, making fun of it because it's like a rocker. Here's Harry Band playing. He's like, I want to watch my show. And it's like, I'm thinking dude, Johnny, Ben was there first. Can you stop? And then they just go at it. It's and it was just so weird.
Actually, no. See, the thing was, he was listening to music, Johnny. He had his earphones and he was listening to records. And what happens is a ship appears above the building and these robots drop down, goes through the vent, and they slowly start to pick on the thing and Johnny and make them basically accuse each other because nobody else is in the room, even though the robot is right there doing everything. If they were just a little more observant, while Sue and Reed are dancing in the room, and Reed is like, no, there's no noise anywhere, woman. Stay with me. As they're dancing.
He was really put on the moves, because they're doing the tango. And he's like, we had an adult moment there as Reed Richards was trying to get lucky with his wife.
Oh yeah.
Remember, there's a kid
He
show.
wanted, he wanted some of that invisible action. So eventually, Johnny and the Thing do fight each other because they're accusing each other.
Well,
and
Ben
they
had,
go to the roof, and
Ben had a
Sue
reason
tells-
Ben had a solid reason though. John he thought that Johnny knocked over his Wayne Newton CDs.
Oh, again, that is a logic. That is a reason. Yeah, indeed. And don't forget the Thing. It looks like the Thing pushed off his Marvel cards.
You know
threw them all over the place.
You know what's hilarious about that? What freaking I'm 9 years old. What other kids around my age group, but this is more, knows who Wayne Newton is at that time in 1994?
You're going to have to give me a second here because this is a topic worth talking about. Because they mentioned Roseanne Barr at least 3 times.
I only noticed it the one time.
No.
With the broad gossip about Prince Charles.
Oh yeah, Prince Charles.
The moment
I am here to tell you that there is no involvement between me and Roseanne Barr. But no, Thing says whenever the producer is saying, "You're breaking your contract," he's just like, "So what? Roseanne Barr did it." And they fly away. I don't know. I guess they wanted to try to appeal to adults. I don't get it.
I'm trying to make it a family show that parents can watch with their, with their kids.
Well, with a theme song like that, how isn't it a family show? Back to Doom. He kidnaps Sue whenever Mr. Fantastic goes up to tell. I love it. He goes up and Johnny and the Thing are fighting, and he's like, "I don't care what you two do. I don't know what this fight is about. Don't care. Just stop because you're bothering Sue. You're getting in the way, man." They were blocking Reed Richards.
That was the most I've seen him be a dick since the first episode.
Oh yeah. But they go down and it's a mess. And
well, that's because the Thing grabbed the desk where Johnny is, and he started swinging at him as they're going up the stairs. He's just swinging the break, and I'm thinking like, wow. Imagine what their bill is like because they're already the landlord's already trying to kick them out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Why'd you have to bring up the landlord? Why? She is the worst character.
She is the most liberal character I've ever seen in a cartoon, like in the 90s.
And Bill Clinton was on there, and she was the most liberal character on there. Let's not go into her.
Miss Lavina Forbes with her boy dog, who she calls Princess or whatever his name is.
Oh, you physically hurt me. You hurt me by bringing her up.
But
and
there's a reason I brought it up though.
Mm-hmm.
It's Stanley's wife doing the voice for that.
I know. I could tell.
But
that's Madam Web right there. But
oh my gosh, is she a Karen?
Oh yes.
She's like that.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know Karens existed back in 1994. It must have been few and far between because now they're everywhere. They
solved the issue in the first episode of the second season. You know how?
Well, that's spoilers, sir. We're talking.
Well, no, because we're not going to talk about the second season. We're never touching this show again. This is
why you bring it up?
Time we want to mention it. Doesn't matter if the second season is way better. We're not going to talk about this show again. This is your one time.
You're saying we're never going to talk about the show again, even though the second season is way better.
Shut up! My logic is sound.
The floor is yours, sir.
First episode of the second season, the building is vaporized completely. So,
well, how is that a good thing? Are you saying that the landlady's in there?
Probably didn't show it. She didn't make an appearance at all. But it's worth mentioning that the building is just gone. And it put a little piece into my heart.
It kind of makes sense because I was wondering how they're gonna because remember when they first moved in, they were playing all their rent was so freaking expensive, And then they didn't really show them how they built the top part, being like there as a laboratory and all that stuff. So I wonder if having it be destroyed, they're just gonna rebuild it themselves, the top. So are they having that comics? But
I do not know.
I did enjoy it as far as I said towards the end of the season. Like there were parts that I liked.
Like what?
Like what?
Like what?
Let's see. The Indiana Jones reference. I like that. They threw that in there. When the giant ball spike is coming at them, and they're basically trying to escape from Doom. Doom's his basic Doom is like, I may be ugly, but it cuts on the inside, so I'm gonna go head on Sue Richards. Kidnaps her, nope. and basically because they can't, they're all on their own devices. Like Johnny Storm's, he's in the typical trope. Put the flame guy in her into a bucket or basically a thing of water. So basically strapped out so he can't get out, can't full flame on. Bends in some indestructible walls. Every time he hits it, he basically
steel box.
Yeah. You had Reed's inside an elastic force field, so basically when he tries to stretch, it stretches too.
Mm-hmm.
They managed to get Sue out, but then Sue can't get him out. So then he's like, "Well, go," because Doom invited her to dinner. He's like, "Go to dinner, distracted, keep him," And she does it. Yeah, she leads him out the entire night, and she flirts with him the whole entire freaking time. That's the way he could tell us his origin story in 2 episodes.
And can we talk about how bad that origin story is and doesn't make any sense at all?
My papa was a scientific man. He built robots. I'm thinking what year?
He lived in a cart.
Yeah, he was a gypsy.
They live in this classic, this little village that has no technology to speak of. They still use candles, but somehow he is able to make a robot spider that comes out of the ring and grows and shrinks out once, and then has a watch that has a light that blinds people. Made no sense.
Yeah,
none at all.
The belt blinds people. His watch has a little spider jumps out, a robot thing.
The robot spider served him well, as Dr. Doom would say in this first season, because his voice is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It was, I'm Dr. Doom, yeah. It's like Dracula.
When the story, he would drop the tone and just go into a voice like this. It was ridiculous. I hated it. I absolutely hated it.
And it was so out of character for Doom because he's like, oh, she likes me, and she touches his hand. He's like, tell me more about your story, your origin. I'm very intrigued. He's like, oh, my dear, now you got me intrigued too.
And then he has that little smile on his mask.
The armor, the mask goes. I was like, the buck teeth. I was like, no.
It was the single most cartoonish moment on the cartoon.
And when they show it, because he has the hood up, he has the little witch thing going in the corner back. I'm like, he looks like an really old lady just wearing an armored mask. Even the mask kind of looked like an old lady. Yes, I won't tell you about my story, but first I'll bake you cookies. You want milk? And it's like, ugh.
Sipping wine through a metal straw. Even though.
Did he have a straw? I thought he had a cup and it just kind of hurt.
No, he pulled the cup out and he's like, how the hell am I supposed to drink this? Because he took it in his mouth and he's like, oh yeah, my mouth is closed. How am I supposed to drink? And a little straw comes out and goes to the slot in his mouthpiece. It's ridiculous.
Well, the funny part about this though is because this is based on Fantastic Four, issues 5. Basically the Doom part, and I don't know as far as if that really involved everything involved, if they added to it or not. But Doom basically predicted that the other 3 were gonna break out. He knew that she was distracting him. He confronts him in his lab, and he says I need to go back in time and get this this coffin. It has this super powerful device in there. So he sends the guys back into the 440 BC. During and it's just before the Greeks. Yeah, Greece is supposed to go against the I can't remember where they were. The Persians, Persia.
Persian.
Yeah, Persians.
Absolutely.
And they defeat the Persians the first second first, and then they help the Greeks out. Greeks give them like their own armored costumes and everything, and we get this the first time we get to see Reed become Plastic Man and just turn himself into a boat with his head sticking up. I was like, this is kind of so weird.
Yeah. We're going to take a second. We're going to get some comments. Maranya has just said that how dare I tease them about the second season and not discuss it. How dare me, specifically, because this show has traumatized me. I'm horse-stricken. Let's move on. I like the Doom origin where he builds a machine to contact his mom's spirit. Reed warns him not to build it because the machine is flawed. Doom is like, "You're an idiot, Reed," and does it anyway. If that was what was happening, that would add a touch to it. But no, Doom was just saying, "Oh, I'm bold," and Reed was not. Reed could not stand how bold I was, so he ran away like a little girl. And then my face got ruined, and I lived with monks, and I put a hot mask on my face.
If only he speak like he's from Crimson Diamond, no. Yes.
Oh yes, that's basically how he speaks sometimes. His voice acting is
Maranya, yeah, she's saying bringing up that they were roommates in college. Yes, they were roommates in college. And he was kind of surprised at that. He's like, "Oh, that's how you guys," because she only knew that they're college, friends, or colleagues, working on stuff. And he had a lab accident. He burned his face. Went to go live with some traveled to I forget what country it was, but he with the monks. And then he's like, "Yeah, my face is so badly burned." And then he's like, he brings the mask out of the coals of here, furnace, and then he puts it on. He's like, "Ah!" I'm thinking like, dumbass, you're supposed to be smart. And you put it on your face. It's burnt. Cool it off in water, then put it on.
No. You know Doom. You can't tell him how to do things. You won't do them the smart way. He has to do it the hard way or no way at all. It's Doom's way.
Doom's way is law. But that was kind of weird. But anyway, back to the story. They're back. The guys are got back in the early 500s. They go to this Mount Olympus space gate. That's where they're at. And they basically they made this deity, or forget what her name is, but
Oracle.
The
Oracle. And she and Johnny just hit on each other the entire time. And she's like teasing him because she says, "Oh no, I'm the Oracle. Don't you dare try to kiss me because my place is just here to watch the world through a crack in time." And it was ridiculous.
But they're able to get. She's like, "Yeah, you can find what you're looking for by going through down the river Styx." And they're like, "Okay," and so basically it's a metaphor because as soon as she leaves, or the gas, the methane gas will come out of this little hole. All of a sudden, water comes out of it, and it goes down the mountain. They returns to the boat. They go down. They basically do a river rapid, and down the little river. They get to the bottom. There's like a crap ton of gold. I'm like Scrooge McDuck would be jealous. I felt like if Smog was layers it there, instead of being a cave, it's on the open. And they find the coffin. You're like, "Yeah, we're grabbing it." And then Johnny's like, "Oh, look, there's a lamp here. Oh, we light it." He lights it, and the chemical reaction causes like a sleeping gas and knocks him out. Here comes the Persians.
And then the Persians come in. They cover their mouths like this, and they're like, "Oh, grab them. Let's go." And then they turn them into slaves, which doesn't go well. Believe it or not, it doesn't go well for the Persians when they wake up at the oars. I don't know who would chain somebody up at the oars, sit them upright to just sit there and sleep.
My thing is like, okay, the two guys look normal. Ben is a monster. You think the little chains are going to hold him?
Yeah.
They don't.
No, they don't. They actually doesn't Johnny melt his? He's like,
well, they're on the Persian boat. The guy's like, he's like, he breaks through. He throws the guy over the main bad guy. He thinks he's like the top dog. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna do what I want. You're my slaves now. And he's like, Ben's like, nope. Throws him off the boat into the water.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, he threw some. I forgot what he threw. He threw some. Oh, the chains. He wrapped up all the chains into a nice
Into
like
a ball. And threw him on the boat, just knocked a bunch into the water, and the boat started to sink.
Well, it didn't sink. It actually didn't sink all the way. It didn't sink.
No?
But he threw it on there. It went into the hole, but no water came up, so it didn't go all the way through. I was thinking,
Oh, okay. Just the top layer.
yeah, I'm thinking like, yeah, the boat should have started to get water some coming out. It's like, sinking. But I'm thinking, if they would have done that, what if all the slaves are tied to the boat? And the oars.
Womp, womp, womp.
Fantastic Four murderers.
and actually, Reed Richards says, "Oh wow, this is actually an important battle. This is one of the days we can't change anything." And they stretch over to the other boat.
Greeks only have like 3 or 4 boats, where like the Persians have like 20. So he goes over there and he's like, "Hey, what's that black stuff you got over there? Is that?" Yeah, it's basically oil.
Greek fire.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So they use the Greek fire. Like, what happens is that Ben grabs like the sail and the mast, rips it out of the boat. So I'm like, okay, well, how do you just run the boats? Now they can't steer for the wind or something. Uses the bat. I think
Reed throws the
Reed throws it. Johnny just lights it, and then he hits it. And then he basically launches it on every single boat. All the boats are on fire. And they're like, and the one bad guy's like, "Oh no, they're using Greek fire." It's like,
it's not going out with water. What are we going to do?
It's Greek fire.
It does fall into that old. The thing about old comic books, they did that a lot, where they would say what's happening while it was happening in the picture. It's just something that happened. This is a cartoon. It was absolutely unnecessary, but it's what they had to do, I guess.
Yes, and LK brings up the best part of this whole episode. Johnny and Oracle, they're basically snogging towards the end of this. They're
at the end. You know what happens? Because after they defeat the Persians, Reed turns into a boat again, and Johnny gets on, and they're like, "Come on, Ben, we gotta go." And Ben's like, "I'm staying. I want to stay here. I'm not a freak here." And they're like, "Okay, well, we don't have time for this, so bye." And they just go away. But then a tornado picks up the ship that Ben is in, and then picks up Johnny and Reed, and they wake up the next day on a shore. And
wasn't the next day, was it? I think it was only like a couple, like an hour later, or half an hour later.
I don't even know, because it was 48 hours.
It was so instantly, as far as how it happened and on the show. So, yeah. So then, like at the last minute, the portal shows up, and Ben's like comes and he's like, "Hold on, guys, I'm coming with you." I'm like,
well, it's because Oracle came up. "Your friend's alive. Give him a minute." That's basically what she does. And then she and Johnny kiss. And something happened. In the tornado, the contents of the
the coffin.
Yeah, in the coffin of, I'm trying to remember the name.
Yeah, I don't remember it either. It was just like
alien technology that the Greeks feared, basically, and so they pushed it away. But the contents of it were lost, so all they had was the box. So they end up going back to present day. Sue had a little thing where she escaped, but didn't really escape. And then they see Doom, and Doom's like, "Do you have it?" And Reed says, "It's right here, but first, give me my wife." And so he's like, "Fine," and pushes Sue along and takes the coffin, opens it, and Greek fire. Oh no! It just it takes over the base, and they're just like, "We had a deal. I said I'd get you the coffin. There it is. And after that, Doom basically sheds off his clothes and is just the metal body. And he's like, "We will meet again." And his feet turn into rockets and he shoots off. Basically.
Yeah, Mariah's bringing up a good point. She's saying it might have been necessary. Cartoons usually have the dialogue recorded first, and the animators go and animate it from the soundtrack. If they're cutting costs or under a tight deadline, the soundtrack may have been used as a voiceover instead of actually animating scenes. It's possible.
I guess. My only issue is that it was happening while it was happening. So, I mean, doesn't really cut anything. But we get to the final episode. It was hard, but oh no, we have the Mole Man.
Yes, and the Mole Man.
Screw you, Venkman. Screw you.
But before this, though, there was one other song that was great, and I posted it on Twitter. If you can see it, the full video. It's they're about to get
the eyebrows.
I believe that was after they destroyed the roof to fight against Silver Surfer and the Galactus.
The Super Skrull.
Or the Super Skrull, sorry. The
MTV
made a video. Yes, yeah, the thing had to make a video because they threatened to get kicked out or sued or go to prison because they had to pay out big damages for the building. So doing that, getting the money. So the thing is his own music. It's clobbering time. I was like, it was like it's catchy. But what's even catchier though is the Mole Man episode. Basically Johnny was taking out the landlady's niece, and then they had Reed and Sue were coming along too. Then Alicia. That's the wrong guy. That's Puppet Man. Puppet Master. But,
these eyebrows are for you, Venkman.
Oh. Well, I have my own.
Go on. Finish. Explain.
They're all going to a dance party. So then they're all taking turns. It basically looks like a 1930s or 1920s, like the big band up there and stuff. What they're going for. Cause I'm not sure what time period they're going for in this series. Like I said, it felt like it was still kind of the 80s going into the early 90s. So
they went to a gala, basically.
Yeah, gala event. Everybody's gonna dance. So after the music stops, Johnny goes up. He's like, now they bring him up. He's like, yeah, no, a new original song from the Human Torch himself is gonna sing. And I'm like, it just goes into the best rap song I've ever heard, man. It's just like it's so great. And even Pixel said he loved it.
No, he didn't. I'm positive he didn't. I'm absolutely sure. Nobody can love this.
I got it on tape. He said he did.
Really?
Yes.
I don't believe you. Anyway, moving on. Yes, he does have a song. Mm-hmm. These eyebrows are starting to freak me out. Anyway, the Mole Man attacks, drags him down. The niece of the landlady is a bitch, and that's all there is to it. There's not much more.
Well,
spoken word worthy of the man Shatner himself.
He wanted to, the Mole Man. He wanted to bring down like all these, like he swallowed up Parliament, and he's got like the pyramid. He's got some other buildings, including the Rockefeller building was what they're in. And he's on the ground because he's like, I'm gonna rule the surface. I'm like, then why are you bringing everything down to the ground of buildings? But
well, you take down the big stuff, and then the rest is all it's mine. I guess.
I mean, if you're Lex Luthor, you would just take those buildings down there, and then just increase your value of your building because you're the less more expensive building down there. If all the other ones are destroyed.
Yeah.
But Yeah, it was the mole man was kind of weird. We get the little gremlin guys too, and they were drawn well. Even the mole man, for being corny, yes, is yeah. But
yeah, no, I feel that the drawing for the mole man was
but I couldn't tell who was having worse time. Obviously, Puppetine or Johnny's date.
Me.
Johnny's date she was bitching the whole entire time.
And she was an idiot because when the building was down there, everybody was staying. And unfortunately, I wish the music ended with Johnny's. But no, because for some reason, the Alicia, the blind girlfriend of Ben's, has to sing. And then
you remember the song she sang in the beginning?
What was it?
Racist, sing song, do-da. You felt that.
Yep. Yes. And so the date was like, okay, Johnny, I want to go with you. And Johnny's like, okay. And the rest of the team's like, I really think we should leave her behind. And I said it in that voice because that was Ben saying it. Because he could already tell this wasn't going to go well.
Yeah, she was spoiled. She was like, and I loved how she's like, when they were being, her and Johnny, or no, yeah, they were being attacked by the mole man. All of a sudden, like, they're in the guys are grammar. He's like, it's ridiculous. So and so would be suing them right now. I'm thinking, not really, because you can't sue someone who's a villain. Suing does nothing. Legal stuff. When someone actually wants to fight you, don't touch me, I'll sue you. They don't care.
Don't forget that we cut back to the gala because the landlady then's
yes!
Like, this is so dreary. When I was a girl, we sang this. And she goes up and she what was the song that she sang? It didn't even have real words.
No. But I was like, dude, it's like we're getting Stan Lee's wife singing a song. I'm like back in my day, I mean, like the 40s. So once again, I said I don't know what I guess it's supposed to be in the 90s. That's when this show takes place, the 90s. But like some of the stuff they have in here is like it's kind of like the 1950s kind of stuff in here. But not a lot, but yeah, overall this season, the first season was rough. I took 15-minute breaks in between each 20-minute episode because I was trying to push through. I was just like, I haven't gotten to bed yet because I was telling Pixels earlier. I was like, I need to finish these episodes so I can talk about them. And I was just, man, I wish I should have just pulled a Pixel and oh, sorry, my alarm's late. So I can get some sleep. But
yeah, I wish I could have done that during the entire series. Just slept.
But the show, the intro, I hated it. By the 5th episode, I was singing along.
On an outer space adventure, they were hit by cosmic rays. And the 4 were changed forever in some most fantastic ways.
Here comes the 4.
Dun, 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 dun.
Fantastic 4.
Don't need no more. That's ungrammatical. I'm never going to get that out of my head. That sticks with me. I'm going to always know that Reed Richards is elastic and Sue can fade from sight. That Johnny's the Human Torch. And the Thing
just loves to fight.
He just loves to fight.
And whenever they show him he loves to fight, he's fighting with Doom, punching Doom.
I know. Well, honestly, it changes because the first couple episodes, it's actually using the footage from the show. And then it cuts into its own special intro, I think about the 4th episode. You can tell that it changes. And I'm never going to forgive you, Venkman.
No.
No.
After the Mole Man, we did get another episode. Episode 12. With the Nihilus. The Negative Zone.
Oh, right.
And guess who caused the rift in time?
You think this show will, as you're watching it, you think, finally, I'm about to reach the end. And then there's another episode.
Reed's in there in his laboratory, and just, and they said, yeah, the TV went out because they were fighting over the channel and stuff. And they came in and he's like, what happened? He's like, oh, sorry, I'm power surge, I'm using this. Landlady barges in, I'm thinking like, you need some secure locks. Don't give her a key. Voice print only. Sorry, you can't get through. It's a vault. Sorry, door.
And something as important as your lab, yeah, definitely.
Right.
Because he's doing like a scan of through a black hole into the negative zone, and right as he's doing an official scan of it, the landlady unplugs the computer.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that causes a hole in the middle of his screen that peels off and becomes a portal into the negative zone.
It's like those Acme black holes. You throw it, slap it on, and it peel it off.
Exactly. Oh, you can just go through.
And that's what Annihilus does. He flies through, and they manage to seal temporarily. But then the other guy comes through too. I forgot what his name is. Yeah, he's like a wolf or a lion or something. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, it's hard to remember the name. All I can think of is that he's just a giant kind of lion figure. And they have this entire spat between them that just doesn't make sense. And let's also mention the fact that this lion guy seems to just know how to speak English, while Annihilus had to learn from watching Ben talk on a television special to sell its Clobbering Time DVDs.
Did you know that
that I want to die? Yes.
No.
Yes, I know.
Do you know that technically that was actually the last episode of the chronologically? That's the last episode of the show. But because the next one, the Silver Surfer and the Return of Galactus, was actually aired before the Mole Man. So, but for some reason, the way it was, they aired it out of order by accident. So somebody goofed on that too. But
somehow they make Doom look worse. It's atrocious because they have something. It starts out with Ben and Alicia sitting on the couch, and Alicia's like, "Oh, Ben, everybody's out, and it's just you and me. Do you know what that means?" And Ben picks up the remote. Yeah, we have the television all to ourselves. And Alicia is blind. So anytime he's changing a channel and we see lightning strike the building and it affects the TV, something pops out and touches it like messes with Ben. And I remember, wasn't it the sumo wrestlers? One of them just comes twirling out and he's like, whoa, and it goes back and he's like, what's happening? And he's like, nothing, it'll just be a little weird.
Yeah, she's blind to everything that's going on. She's oblivious, and he's as dumb as a rock. But. Yep,
and then I believe it eventually Johnny comes home and he's like, hey, what are y'all watching? Oh, sumo wrestling, this is unacceptable. And so he changes it to
Iron Man. Maranian's favorite. That was kind of cool because they're watching actual Iron Man footage of from season 2 of Iron Man show, which didn't air until that following year in 1995 because this is December. So
it was a preview.
Pretty much, yes, because it was because Johnny's like, oh yeah, Iron Man's on. He's all excited. So Johnny's a fan of Iron Man, and for some reason Iron Man has his own cartoon show, and
the Marvel universe.
In the Marvel universe, and it's unless it was supposed to be like the news, but no, it was War Machine and basically Iron Man going against Ultimo. And Ultimo basically was being controlled by the Mandarin. Now, like I said, that episode didn't. They must have just had a clip of this dude for the Fantastic Four and decided to, in the actual cartoon, the Iron Man cartoon came out the year later. I think they added on to it and made it. So it was kind of cool to see it. Like that was like a sneak preview for people who didn't really notice it. I did it when I was a kid, but I remember this episode. And so they're like, Iron Man goes up and he blasts, he knocks the Nullifier down, or not Ultimo down. Ultimo falls to the screen, knocks the couch out. They're like, "Oh crap, what the heck?" And it's like, and even Ben's kind of freaking out. And then, what's funny is that like the Ultimo gets up, he kind of like it doesn't look behind him. He just kind of gets up and then crawls back into the screen. I was like,
"I'm getting Iron Man no matter what." And that was Ultimo's mindset.
It was weird because like I hope they address it in the Iron Man cartoon because even Iron Man kind of noticed that the Ultimo like went into the screen. I'm like, I want them to see like the other side and see like the Fantastic Four like going there. It's like, what the heck?
What's happening to that wall?
I don't know. But so after that, Johnny's like, well, let's turn something. Let's turn on something like much better, like in like a nature thing, with the mice or something like that, But they're fine for a little bit until Reed comes home, grabs her remote. He's here. I'm gonna turn on something, and it's like, what did he turn? Oh yeah, some scientific show about dinosaurs. So these two velociraptors come through screen
with
the pterodactyl, and they're terrorizing everybody. And that's where we get Eric Breen shows up, or at least the version that Eric Breen would love to be, their ever-loving blue-eyed thing. We get to see Johnny and basically the thing producing Fred and Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble, and like he's basically swinging the dinosaur. And he's like, there you go, Dino. Yeah, but it's kind of cool. Like they have callbacks to like shows like that.
Cultural references.
Yeah, that they're actually allowed to do that because who their parent company has the rights. So after that they end up basically going back to the ship, or they chase the signal back to space
because they figure out that there's a ship up in the sky that looks like it's Galactus's that's firing down an energy that will turn anything into living matter.
Another error, though. They're already up in space. Quick, everybody, put on your spacesuits.
Well, I guess I know they didn't put on the.
Because when they go underwater, the cover goes over the actual Fantastic car, the cockpits. If they're wide open,
so they're dead. They just die right then and there at the end.
And I love like their series. Like Reed's like, hey, look, I found more of those translator discs. You just put them on here, slap them on here, and they're like, I'm like, how many does he have? They're like freaking campaign buttons left over from a campaign. It's like he must have like thousands of them. But yeah, they go up there. They go up into space. They basically it looks like Galactus's old ship, the giant spear thing, but it's all be destroyed and like just like rusty and stuff. Like time's been, like it's been like forever.
Mm-hmm.
Only to find out that Silver Surfer went up to the. I think the Silver Surfer got in time, or is he afterwards? But
Silver Surfer goes down right after the Fantastic Four go up.
Yeah,
because
he
runs into Alicia again.
Yeah, he wants to see that Alicia.
Alicia touches
my love, my love. Yeah, it's like he's been so freaking creepy putting the moves on her and thinking like, and Alicia doesn't mind. She's like, hey, I got a suitable admirer. Like this guy is not like all rough and like grizzly. Granted, he's kind of.
It's not like Ben who cares more about the TV.
Neither one of them probably don't have appendages though. So what's the difference?
Moving on.
They're Ken dolls.
Moving on.
That's what she should do. Move on to her actual human being. So it turns out
Silver Surfer goes up after them,
Yeah.
and as the Fantastic Four are scanning the area, they're like, "Oh, what is this? Why is there synthetic life in these little pods at the end that are all damaged?" And so once Silver Surfer's there, he realizes, "Hey, wait, this is a trap. We've got to go." And there comes Doom. And Doom's mouth, the entire time as he's speaking, moves like mine is right now. When he is supposed to be wearing a mask, a full-on metal mask that does not move. Not at all. It's ridiculous. Outrage.
There was any outrage in this on their show.
I don't know. In that first episode, Sue did get tied up into chains, and the way she was tied up is certainly highlighted parts of her.
Episode 2, or actually episode 3, because the first 2 were the first part. They're part 1 and part 2 of the Clark thing origin story.
Yeah, that's when it happened, when she was tied up by Puppet Master.
Oh wait, yeah, it was part 2. Yes, he's in there.
But yes, there's not a lot of outrage in the show. Not really.
Well, I liked how they messed up on Johnny when they showed him, like, I think it was the intro. I'm not sure if it was the intro or not, but they showed him, and he basically, Johnny appears, like, and basically they drew Sue's normal body, turned it into the Human Torch, and passed it off as Johnny.
That's debatable. I feel like that's really debatable because his shape, he does have some outrageous.
This one had Sue's waistline. It said Sue's waistline and Sue's breast.
No, it didn't have real breasts though. It wasn't like Sue's body in that same image. If you look at them side by side, it cuts off like the average male in the show. You just have to look closer. But anyway, Doom has trapped Silver Surfer to absorb his powers into himself. And we're basically cutting to where we talked about already, Galactus. How they solve the problem as Doom saying, "I am the ruler of the world," and the world is like, "Okay, we're giving up." The Fantastic Four lure him out into space, all the way up with the damaged Silver Surfer into Galactus's area. And Galactus comes out and he's like, "Silver Surfer, why the hell are you out here?" As he was fighting Dr. Doom.
he's like, "That guy took my powers." You did what? Powers back.
He gives the powers back and he's like, "Go back to your banishment," and he pushes Doom off into to go away into eternity. And it's never explained what happens. He's just gone.
I do like that they kept with as far as Doom having his own kind of like Iron Man armor. He has jet boots.
Yeah. And that's pretty much how it ends, except at the end, as they're flying back, Ben reminds everybody, "Yeah, and we're going to get home in time to catch Iron Man." And the end. And to an atrocious season.
The timing, though, Pixel, you ruined it. The timing is after he says. Reed's like, "Oh, it's a good thing we got Galactus. They come and take and save the day. It was really we weren't we weren't sure it was going to really work out or not, but it was like, yeah. Ben's like, yeah, and a good thing is if we get home enough time, we'll be able to watch Iron Man. I'm thinking like, wow, Ben's now an Iron Man fan because it was Johnny that liked the show.
Iron Man fan, don't you know? That's just how it works. You got the Marvel cards, the your Iron Man cartoon in a cartoon. It's Toonception.
I gotta ask you, which card? You obviously you didn't like this, so if I don't know anybody in the chat, what 90s cartoon or 80s cartoon? As far as I'd say about as Marvel cartoon should we check out next? Do it season review. Because we do DC as well because there's so many. There's the Batman animated series, there's Superman animated series, there's Justice League, the first season, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
That's Marvel.
Yeah. So,
I'd be willing to check that out. I can't imagine. The only thing that I've seen that reminds me of this is watching the New Adventures of Batman and Robin with Batmite.
The New Adventures. You're talking about not the 90s one. You're talking about the Brave and the Bold?
No. This was in the, I believe, late 60s. No, early 70s. There was a cartoon called The New Adventures of Batman and Robin. And
Are you talking about the Adam West one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you didn't like this? It is fun for what it is.
I did not like it. No, I have to admit, because I was hoping for something when watching it, something about it. The later Fantastic Four series, yeah, you're right.
The 2000s.
And this series improves, but not in itself. See, what they had to do to make it better is give it to a whole new animation company, for one thing, and then add on a new executive producer. And that's what made the show good. And like I said, I watched one episode of the second season just to see how different it is. And yeah, it was completely different.
How many episodes are in the Iron Man 66 one cartoon?
I'm not sure. Watching the old ones could be fun. I absolutely feel that that could be something worth doing. I just did not care for this. At a certain point, there's just so much bad to it. You're just so held down.
Bad to the bone.
If I had bones.
Bad to the felt.
Bad to the felt. Bad to the fluff.
Seasons. I think there's season 1. 6. I think 6 episodes. I'm assuming.
Only 6 episodes? Wow.
Let me look.
That up.
The one's more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 episodes. Yeah.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, it's got Ultimo in there as well. Mandarin, Crimson Dynamo, Hawkeye, Mole
Those
Man.
are those classic cartoons where it looks like.
Look. Oh my God! They got another Mole Man episode.
No.
The ForceWorks one from the 90s. It does the Armor Wars. I was looking at that one earlier today.
Well, I believe we talked about next. We want to get into some DC, so I think we might check out the classic Superman cartoon.
The 90s, right?
Mm-hmm. Not the one before.
Because everyone's talking about Fleischner, but no one really talks about the 90s.
Yeah, if we can find it, then absolutely that's the next plan. And then maybe Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
All right, I'm looking at Iron Man. Only has 13 episodes as well. Doesn't look that bad either.
Maybe worth a look-see then.
Yeah. Well, it also was great about the Iron Man series. You had a Scarlet Witch, Spider-Woman. You had, Hawkeye on there too. As far as helping them out, normal cast. I gotta say though, the Iron Man ForceWorks, though, that one, the Iron Man of the 90s. All I remember is Tony Stark. He's in a hot tub and a masseuse is giving him a back rub, and then I forgot who it is. I think it's Julia Carpenter, Spider-Woman. It's not Jessica Drew. Basically gets mad at him, or is it Pepper? I can't remember who it was. I remember he's
I guess we will have to find out.
He's really cocky this one too in the 90s. I mean, I don't know if he was in the original, but wow. But yeah, I say we do the DC Superman, the 1996, I think it was. Go through that. Let me look. Actually, let me look up the episodes. I think I might have more than 13. 6 Superman cartoon. So I think that has a lot more than what we think it's gonna have. Where is IMDb? Because it went on for like four seasons.
LK says in the 90s it was Julia Carpenter, aka the second Spider-Woman. The voice acting for Tony, I believe, was Robert Hayes, says Maranya. Eric Breen is saying that Ash has just released an actual video for once.
All right. Instead of releasing a new video, he could have joined us on here too. All those guys.
Dun dun dun. He betrayed it.
Actually, yeah. So let's go with the DC Superman 1996.
All right, then we have our plan, and we will be doing a first season. I think we'll stick to this format. Give the first season a chance.
Yeah.
And maybe eventually we will touch on the second season of this show. Yeah. Not anytime soon. I need to recover.
No, I say after Superman, we'll do Iron Man, Force Works in the 90s.
All righty. Then we have our plan. Everybody, we want to thank you for joining us. If you haven't already, please subscribe, leave a like. Well, you're all commenting right now, but if anybody is watching this video afterwards, please leave a comment. Let us know what you think of this 90s classic.
Also, if you have a cartoon on here that we're reviewing here and you've watched it recently, you want to jump on mic with us, go ahead. Just let us know.
And I don't know if I actually have it in the description. I should put it, but I actually have a Twitter account, and I will be posting what we will be reviewing later on. And so you can keep up with us there. Want to say to everybody in the comments, say to my pal Venkman here, thank you. Thank you for joining us, and we shall see you next time.
Later, guys.